all this food is originated from India because our great-grandparents was from India. But when it came to Trinidad and all the different islands, we kind of changed it up a little bit and modernized it.
And these are called rotis. They just take them as sandwiches, kind of, the roti. They fold them in half and then fold them in half and flip them over. And so you have this sort of square sandwich.
And to think that some of the people we work with today, they control the market of seafood in the country. You know, it's just, it's a different level. And it's interesting because I hope that I taught them a little something, but they definitely taught me a little something too.
We went to an organic farm, and the farmer that was there was 2 fries short of a Happy Meal. And we went on a tour. We were walking along, and there were some giant plants. And somebody mentioned to it, "Oh, pay no attention to those plants." He would bring in rocks and grind it up because he said that the plants had peed on the dirt, and you had to get fresh dirt. So he was not your normal farmer.
In San Francisco 10 years ago, I got to see Martin Yan. We got to see him demonstrate how to cut a chicken in 60 seconds. He was like a rock star within Chinatown when we were doing our tour with him.
This is the duck web. They dehydrate them, use it for soup. Talking about sustainable food, you eat everything, it's edible.
Walking through Chinatown with Martin Yan is like walking into Yankee Stadium with Babe Ruth.
I fell in love with ICCA, over 10 years ago with Idaho potato. We went out into the fields and looked at all the potatoes and actually got to get on some of the equipment and see how they harvested and stored potatoes.
So I got involved in the ICC community in around 2007. That was the Rhode Island trip.
And this is a traditional, old-fashioned New England clam bake. The Native American Indians in this area taught it to the early colonists that came to New England, right around the shores. The Indians would do this as a traditional feast.
Your clam bake was a visual experience that I will not forget, and I may use in one of my paintings in the future.
My absolute favorite was we went down to Los Angeles. We were totally immersed in the whole idea of food trucks, listening to all these different ways that they were promoting the trucks with social media at that time. And I came away from that with so many tools.
So the first location I went to was the ICCA event in Seattle.
Sockeye for all!
All the awesome seafood that's around there set my mind to thinking, hey, this is a great organization, certainly something I want to come to and be a part of as often as possible.
On the cusp of foie gras becoming illegal, all of the major chefs came to do a 10th anniversary dinner for us. And they all were emptying their freezers, fridges, everything they could of foie gras. I mean, it was a foie gras extravaganza.
Miami, South Beach.
The first event that I came to was the summit in Miami. Being able to see Miami with Michelle Bernstein, spend the entire day walking around the neighborhood which she grew up in and seeing the local food was one of those experiences that you just don't get to have.
So her granddaughter is studying to be a chef, and so it'll be all in the family. All right, so what you have on the plate, black-eyed pea fritters, fried shrimp, and a minuta sandwich, a piece of the minuta sandwich, which is a snapper sandwich, and yellow rice with fish inside.
But you never know. It's a little bit of roulette in terms of which bus is going to get lost or which group is going to have someone get sick along the way. There's always some great memories and great stories at the dinner that follows those day-long outings.
I'll never forget when we went on our mushroom foraging trip in Colorado, and I just happened to start to continue to look for mushrooms with my head in the ground. And before I knew it, I was separated from the group with no clue where the team was. And I just kept thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm on the side of a mountain in the middle of nowhere. Am I gonna get back? And finally, I heard a voice calling out, Keith, Keith. And then I knew that I needed to start heading back where the voice was. But yeah, that was a pretty funny experience.
You forget how much of America's food manufacturing still happens in an artisan, small business way. I mean, the company had been around since 1968. You know, there's 4 generations of families that have been buying their product.
We've always aged hams about a year. We start in January. We salted the ham down in the cooler for about 6 weeks. We hung it up in 50 to 55 degrees for about 3 weeks to equalize the salt. We'll take the bone out, take the skin off, vacuum seal it back together where it gets rid of the hole where the bone was, and keep it real cold, and then slice it on the bologna slicer. That's a lot cleaner process. We cook about 50 hams in water for about 8-9 hours, get the temperature, internal temperature up to about 140. We don't really smoke them heavily. The main thing that does, it keeps the fat from turning rancid. Leave all the fat on it because that fat keeps the ham from drying out too fast.
To be able to kind of step back and see something that we would have never seen before is really a special treat.
Hot chicken, cool conference. Great conference. You screwed up. Shit. I'll put that on there. Here, I think I got it now.
Being here in Los Angeles in 2017 for the immersion has been a real eye-opener. We've gone to some great places, the quality of the food, the expression, the creation, the diversity.
Also really liked Rock Sugar. The expanse of that restaurant, the beauty of that restaurant is incredible, and the food matches the look of the restaurant.
I believe we're trying to do something that a lot of companies haven't been able to do, which is to grow across the globe and still make all their food and do it through great people, great process, great technique. It's just like classical restaurants. I love and admire the people I work with, and I really admire David Overton. He's food first, he's people first, and he is unwavering in that 40 years later when a lot of companies change their model. We have not changed our model, we've actually intensified what I think has made us unique. We're really quite proud of probably our greatest awards that we've been in Fortune's top 100 companies to work for the past 3 years. And we take that very serious as an executive team because we want to create an environment where people want to work and they're proud of their work and they can grow professionally and personally.
I'd love to tell you some stories about my experiences with the chefs over the years, but most of them are not for PG audiences.
Love the group. Probably I would retire, but I know that I wouldn't get to come anymore, so I'm going to keep working just so I can keep coming to these events.